And you're going to have to determine, you're going to be better than that. You're going to allow the sanctifying work of the Spirit in your life to elevate you to a place where you turn the other cheek, where you will take the coals of fire if necessary. You'll take up your cross and allow them to crucify you. If it means the salvation of their souls, you got to see it in a way that they're under the torment and the guile of the enemy, and you can follow suit. You can. What does it say? You can. How do you say it? Fire for fire. You can pay fire for fire. What's the word I'm looking for? You can fight fire with fire. You can say, well, that's the way they're going to do me. I'm going to do you just the same way. You want to talk about me? You want to put your mouth on me? You want to talk about my loved ones? You want to talk about my friends and family? Watch what I can do. I can cut you down just as fast. You can do that. And when you do it, you have forgotten your identity. The moment that you follow suit and you return fire for fire, you have forgotten from the rock from which you've been hewn. You have forgotten the cloth from which you've been cut. You have forgotten that you were once darkness, but now that you are the light of the world. And you have been called to be a burning example. And it's going to be the times, church, hear me. When you know that it's not you, you're going to know that you didn't do it. You didn't deserve it. You're going to feel justified. And the Lord's going to say, can I trust you to let them crucify you for me? Can I trust you? That's what Peter says. We read this morning. That when we suffer, when we didn't do anything for the sake of the will of God, that's what Peter said. That it would be the will of God that we suffer evil for right doing rather than suffering evil for wrongdoing. If it be God's will. When it is God's will, and oftentimes it is. Why? Because Paul says that we are learning as the church how to make up what's lacking in his sufferings. I used to look at it and say, Lord, what do you mean? How are we going to make it? How is there anything lacking in the sufferings of what you did? We know that he suffered once and for all. He sat down at the right hand of God. He offered atonement for sacrifice. He sacrificed for sins one time. But that's not what that means. That means that there's an entire world out there that still has forgotten. And many of them are going to call themselves Christians, and they have no idea what the cross looks like. And God is calling up people and say, can you represent me? Oh, not just raised. We like the resurrection. But can you represent me crucified for those who still are in harm's way? And when you can do that and you can allow the crucifixion to be manifested in your own life, then they're going to look on the cross. And Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw men unto me. Can you allow them to lift you up on the cross so that they can look upon his sufferings? That's what Irenaeus did. Irenaeus is he's one of my heroes, and I can say he's one of my heroes. He passed on, he ran the race, he finished the fight. But he was not a Christian. And it was in the 2nd century. And the Roman Colosseum was in its heyday. And there was a man by the name of his name was the Bishop of Ignatius. His name was Ignatius. And they took him and they threw him to the wild beasts in the Colosseum. And when he went out to meet the wild beasts, he walked out as an angel of light. Irenaeus was in the crowd, and he looked down, and as he watched the wild beasts come to Ignatius, they came to attack him, and they laid down. And he said, receive me, Lord. And the beast then turned on him and devoured him. And Irenaeus said as he watched this man be devoured by the wild beast, he said he watched him transfigured into the Jesus on the crucifix. He watched him transform before his eyes. He saw the crucifixion of Jesus in this man's suffering. And we don't want suffering in our life because we want an Americanized, truncated, bastardized, watered down gospel that's a non-gospel that has no power to save our souls. If you can receive the cross in your life, then people's lives will have the opportunity to be transformed. He asks us for all, not some.